Welcome to Higher Business, a podcast teaching you a holistic, purpose-driven, and financially rewarding approach to growing your business that allows you, your business, and your life to thrive while making a meaningful difference in the world. I'm Leticia, Ringe, your coach, and I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm answering the question, how do I create a successful, thriving business that meets my personal definition for a successful business? If you haven't yet listened to the previous episode where I showed you how to reveal your personal definition for success, I recommend you go back and listen to that episode first. So to answer today's question, I'll be introducing you to the Higher Business framework for creating successful, thriving businesses that meet your personal definition for what a successful business is. The first element to this framework is we take a holistic approach to the way we create and run our businesses. This means we are tending to our businesses by tending to the three different entities that impact our business, which are you, your business, and your life. Now, each of these three entities requires different tools, different skills, and different processes in order to support them each individually thriving. This is important because each of these entities impact your overall business. So we need to make sure that we're working with each of the entities in the ways that they need in order to support their success. So in order to support your business to thrive, you need to have business skills. In order to support your life to thrive, you need to have life skills. And in order to support you to thrive, you need to understand as a human what you need to thrive. And this is what we'll be teaching you on this podcast. This is great because when you take a holistic approach to your business, you receive a macro and a micro vision for what a successful business is for you. We understand what your business goals are, what your life goals are, and we also understand what you need on the day-to-day basis and what your lifestyle needs to look like in order to be aligned with the life and business goals and in order to set you up for sustainable success. The second element to the Higher Business framework is we step into consciousness. So we take a conscious approach to the way we run our businesses. This is where the ongoing work is needed. And this is because by default, we will be operating in our businesses most of the time from a place that is unconscious. The reason this is a problem for most of us is that what is in our unconscious body and mind is not in alignment with the vision for what we want to create in our businesses. This means we might be taking action that we think is aligned with our vision for what a successful business is, but we find ourselves doing something else and we feel like we're stepping up and against ourselves constantly. This is because you're operating from a place that is unconscious and not aligned with what you want it to be aligned with. And so we need to move ourselves from a place that is unconscious to conscious. We need to step out of our own way. Other times, you might be taking the right actions in your business that are aligned with your vision for what a successful business is, but you're finding you're just not creating the results. And it's because part of you is committed to something else that is not aligned with your vision for a successful business. And we need to become aware of that. And we need to be able to put you into a process of transformation in order to become aligned with your vision for a successful business. So the work becomes in learning how to move from a place of unconsciousness to a place of consciousness. And that's what you'll be learning how to do on this podcast. The third element to the Higher Business framework is all about being strategic. You want to show up for your business being strategic. This is really important. It will save you loads of time and it will make your experience of the business journey so much more enjoyable and so much more powerful and effective. The reason for this is we all tend to be completely overwhelmed with all of the different things we could be doing in our business. And so we are overwhelmed by all the different problems we could solve and also the different ways we could solve those problems. Being strategic using the higher business framework is about understanding where you are in the overarching business cycle and then being able to understand what problem you need to solve based on where you are in that cycle, and also based on what your personal business goals actually are and how you want to show up and work in your business in order to allow you to thrive and support your life to thrive. So we need to be strategic with all of this in mind. And the only way to do that is to get really clear and focused on solving the right problems for right now in your business. Otherwise, if you don't solve the right problem for right now in your business, you'll be overwhelmed trying to solve everything and you're less likely to move yourself forward. So we want to focus on the right problem right now, solve that, and then be able to move forward and then solve the next problem that we need to learn how to solve. So that's what being strategic is all about. In addition, being strategic is about deciding ahead of time what you're going to focus your time and attention on in your business. You're going to choose to the best of your ability what actions to be taking, what strategy to implement, what path to move along. And so we do that to the best of our knowledge and we decide what we're going to focus on. Then we give ourselves enough time to allow that strategy to yield results and information. Then we review those results and the information, and then we course correct and amend our strategy so that we can move towards what we want. And so that requires us to be intentional with what we're creating and what we decide, and then also reflecting on what we actually discover through experience so that we can then refine and align our strategy to move us towards what we want. So that's what being strategic is all about. And it's a very important part of business that allows you more time and space and more power and effectiveness in solving the right problems and moving you forward. So that is a summary of the higher business framework. We're being holistic, we're being conscious, and we're being strategic. And on this podcast, you will be given tools and processes and techniques to support you with all of these three elements. It's also helpful to know that we will also be giving you information about each phase of the overarching business cycle and how to solve the right problems based on the phase that you're in the business cycle. So that's what you can expect coming up on the podcast. All right, my friends, so now you have it, the higher business framework for creating successful, thriving businesses. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to Higher Business, the podcast, your go-to resource for learning how to start, grow, and scale your business using a higher, holistic approach to business. To deepen your learning and practice, make sure you subscribe to the Higher Business Community newsletter. This is a newsletter sent to you every Wednesday to provide further coaching and education to support your business. Register to receive this newsletter at leticiaringe.com/business newsletter. And if you haven't yet left a 5-star review for the podcast, we ask that you please do that now so that this podcast can reach other listeners just like you.